like it or not. For the moment, the earth is where we make our stand.
There's a really annoying school of Christian apologetics out there who engage in something called presuppositionalism. This affirms that the Christian faith is the only basis for rational thought by presupposing, or assuming without evidence, that the Bible is divine revelation. The entire standpoint is mostly considered logically invalid because it hinges on a begging the question fallacy. It assumes from the start that one viewpoint is true and that all others are immediately wrong. Let's take a look at an example of presuppositionalism from a guy called Darwin's Deity, aka Darth Dawkins. For those of you who know what's ahead of you, I'm so sorry.
The first thing I want to kind of dive into is the style of apologetic that you're using. I understand that that's called presuppositional. Would you agree?
You could call that, but my view is everybody argues from a presuppositional point of view.
Could you explain that so people who are watching can kind of follow along as we do this? Because I want this to be the most educational that we can make it. And so if we can work this out so people can watch, we can have a good conversation that people can grow from.
Everybody operates from a web of belief. Everybody has certain ultimate commitments. Mm-hmm. Everyone's going to have a belief in something that is ultimate, and their other beliefs will stem from that. You do, I do, everyone does. Okay. So my question to you is, since you lack belief in God, the personal absolute, you must be reasoning from an impersonal absolute as the basis.
I have a clarifying question.
And can I finish my question?
No, because I want to get through. Yeah, because you're calling on my show, so you can either wait. You can either wait because I'm trying to clarify this with you. No, you can wait. The reason you can wait is because I want to have an actual conversation and I want to understand what you're saying. So I want to ask for clarification whenever it comes up. Okay?
This is the real problem with presuppers. They have a careful script that they need to stick to, or else you'll quickly unravel their very weak position. I disagree that there needs to be any kind of ultimate in anyone's life, but that argument won't fit with the script. Let's go a little further, to where Darth's definition of ultimate becomes slightly more clear.
Something is unconditionally non-dependent if its existence does not depend on its beginning or anything independent or external of itself. That's what we would define as an absolute.
Okay, so I'm having trouble conceptualizing that. Can you give me an example of a thing that I understand that is unconditionally non-dependent?
God. God would be an entity that we could offer as an example of something that is unconditionally non-dependent.
Okay.
Now, for non-God believers...
No. Hold on. I'm still exploring this with you.
Cut me off.
No, you're not attempting to support. You're attempting to move on to the next thing. So either you're going to listen and you're going to answer the question, or the conversation's over.
You can show your audience how rude you are.
Oh, okay. So he's on hold. You see, you're calling into my show. If you want your own show, create your own show. But if you want to talk to me and have a useful conversation where people aren't yelling at each other, you're going to have to do that. But there's not enough room for your ego on this. Let's try again. Are you there?
Yeah, let's try
Okay.
again. Now, can you not cut me off and rudely interrupt me before I finish?
No.
I love that guy. So, Dawkins says everyone believes in something that is unconditionally non-dependent, something that is and always was and can account for all rational thought. The only example he's come up with, though, is God. Let's see if he can provide a second example to maybe give us some idea of what the hell he's on about.
Now, before you rudely cut me off, I tried to give a counterexample of something that is not God. Now, for certain materialists, they believe that the substrate of matter is unconditionally non-dependent, from which the singularity and the Big Bang arose. So I gave you an example from theism and an example from an atheistic worldview.
No, you gave an example.
I'd like to get my question out that you have refused to let me ask.
No, because we're still talking about this one. We finish what we start.
So the answer is no, you're not going to let me ask my question? Is that it?
When we finish this, we move on to the next.
Let me ask my question. Are you going to let me ask my question?
When we're done, yes.
So you're afraid of hearing my question, is that it?
No, I just don't need you to run roughshod and avoid things. Okay, then listen.
I'm not avoiding things.
Then listen, because right now it really sounds like you are.
Man, what a jerk, huh? Yeah, he's something else. So matter would be an example of another ultimate in his opinion. Okay, I guess I could go with that, but it still doesn't answer the question of why an ultimate is needed at all, or why God should be considered that ultimate. Personally, I subscribe to cogito ergo sum, the Descartes phrase that translates to I think, therefore I am. On a metaphysical level, the only thing I can guarantee with 100% certainty is that there is a being I call me, and it is experiencing something I call the universe. The true nature of either of those things I cannot fully discern. Our senses are faulty, and this we know. If you prod the right part of a person's brain, they will be convinced that they've seen God. I have no way to be certain that I am not a brain sitting in a jar, lol, receiving electrical impulses from some outside source. However, at the same time, I also believe that my perception of reality is more or less accurate due to the commonalities in experience between all human beings around the world. We all more or less agree on what things look, sound, smell, and feel like, with any deviation able to be chalked up to personal preferences. I can't be entirely certain, but there is good reason to suggest that my experience is more or less reality. Beyond that, I cannot guarantee that there is an ultimate, that there is something governing the direction of the universe. In short, that there is a God. The problem I have with presuppositionalists can also be applied to conspiratards, and specifically flat earthers. For all their talk of begging the question, they are the kings of it. Their entire position automatically assumes, and must by its very nature assume, that a vast portion of the planet is engaged in a massive conspiracy to conceal the shape of the Earth. Eventually, the discussion between flirfs and those who live in reality progressed beyond this conspiracy. It's too easy for them to write off footage from space as fake, doctored, computer-generated, etc., so we moved on to more concrete things. Things we could verify for ourselves, like blink tests of city skylines, horizon drop film with the aid of drones, left-to-right curvature through compressed composite images, and more. We started using mathematics, at-home experiments, anything accessible to the average person who doesn't have access to a multi-million-dollar suborbital rocket. So, herein lies my problem. I'm taking a step back in the year 2020 when it comes to debating with conspiratards. I won't be talking about curvature anymore. I won't be talking about the Earth's rotation. I won't be talking about seismology, telescopes, examination of lunar phases, the angular size of the sun, or anything else that we can prove from the ground. First, they're going to have to prove their presupposition to me. They're going to have to prove that space exploration is fake. The reason this is part of the never-ending mental illness series is this. The presupposed deception perceived by flirfs and others is a symptom. It's mental gymnastics. Every single day, multiple satellites photograph the entire Earth. Every single day, the ISS is showing footage of it speeding over a curved planet surface. There are 6 extremely well-documented voyages to the moon. Dozens of probes have been launched all over the solar system. There is an enormous pile of photographic and video evidence from all around the world to support the notion that the Earth is a sphere. To brush it aside with a 2-word non-debunk of "it's fake" is intentionally obfuscating the argument. Consider Riley's paper. His whole point was to try and make globe versus flat a court case, but he completely ignores what would actually happen if the case ever went to court. Your Honor, I present to you a photograph of the Earth from space. I rest my case. Case dismissed. Flirfs love to twist an argument into something it's not. In this new decade, let's not allow them to. Demand that they prove space travel is fake, or else they don't have an argument and never will. Prove your conspiracy, and then we can talk about the shape of the Earth. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel, which is Dead Kennedy in Space. If you want to support me further, consider donating on Patreon or purchasing some of my work through Amazon or Teespring. Thank you, and I'll see you over the curve, Space Cowboys.
Live there, on the mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam, in a vast cosmic arena.